Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Deadfire with me, Break It Dawn. Alright, let's speak to Nordegand.
Here for a meal? Just get in line, dear. Ain't no trick to it.
Hey, there's a lady I'm looking for. Came from Deerwood.
Adra waves a hand in the old woman's face, as though expecting cataracts she does not appear to have.
Short, got a bad temper. It goes by Animancy. Heard of her?
I know an Alava, but that ain't a surname.
No?
Adra's jaw shifts sideways to gnaw on his pipe stem.
Not real warm, that one. Stop by unannounced, you get a pistol up your nose when she answers the door.
I imagine settlers have to keep their guard up out here.
Yeah, that's her. So, she's living with her, husband, then?
Not that I noticed.
Adra exhales a surprising amount of air.
Huh. Must be laying low.
Just that boy of hers.
Adra's body goes perfectly still. It seems to waver in the breeze.
She's got a son? How old would you say? Like a little boy?
Alice's eyes go wide with shock, then delight. He's watching Adra the way a cat watches a wounded mouse.
I'd be happy to help you with the math.
Something the matter?
Nah, just curious.
Adra's grip on his pipe has caused the color to drain from his knuckles.
Oh, I couldn't say. It's been years. He must be a young man by now.
Wow, that's something. Well, thanks for your help.
Don't you want to know where to find her?
Yeah, I was just about to ask.
She's in Hasongo, last I heard. Got a little plot of land out there.
I guess we'll look that way then. Much obliged. What's on your mind?
Alright, no new dialogue yet. Maybe once we step outside.
You know how I've been saying there's nothing more important to me than us freeing you from Bareth's bonds? Well, I meant that. I did.
Adra's breath lingers in his chest, and his mouth hangs ajar, blurring his statement into immediate doubt.
But there's this other thing I need to see about. On the way, like. I was gonna tell you.
I feel like option 3 is a little too passive-aggressive. Maybe with option 5. It's only fair.
I'm glad you see it that way. This thing with the gods holding your soul for ransom, we're still gonna take care of that. Right after. This woman, well, love's not the right word, but she was something to me once, back in Gilded Vale.
He pauses.
When I was mayor of Deerford, I had this vision of what I wanted it to look like. It was gonna be what Gilded Vale was, before the legacy. And in some ways it got there. I was proud of that. But it didn't feel like I thought it would. Come to realize there was someone I needed to show it to. Ilava, well, she'd have been about the last person left in Deerwood who'd have seen what I made and understood. Last I saw her, she was going to New Hayamar. Went looking for her there, only to find that she'd left a long time ago. Anyway, I don't expect you to understand, but I gotta know she ended up all right.
Sounds like she ended up with a son.
Yeah, that's something. Coming out of Deerwood during that time. When I knew her, she had another little boy, just a baby. But the legacy deprived him of a proper life. I never found out what happened to him. But with the Hollowborn, he didn't have to ask. Guess he got a brother, though.
Adra falls quiet, blinking several times before noting your continued presence. You're sure you want to know where this leads?
No, but I don't see a way to let this go. Least a ways not now. Last time I saw Lava, we got friendly. Now she's got a son.
Adir's shrug is rigid. His smile at least half wince. I don't really want to ask this, but I do want to explore the dialogue option, just to see what he says. This can't wait until after Barrett has released me.
Nothing personal, but I don't know if there will be an after. Even though you may be the only one I wouldn't bet against. I followed you once when there was something you had to do to put your soul at ease. You went through a lot, but we did it. Now I'm asking you to let me see to mine.
Yeah, did not like asking that, but... I mean, obviously I'm going to help out Adair. He's been with us since the beginning. But let's get moving.
I got time.
Yeah, I really need to fix our reputation with Aloth as well. Because he's also been with us since the beginning. Yes, I think it was pride that put us in the negative. I don't feel like... we've been very prideful. If anything, we have been dutiful. Upholding our contracts. Also, I realize these are unique descriptions over here, so we should probably read these at some point. Looks like here he's lost reputation. I was going to say, I think that Aloth and Adair should start with at least one in their reputation with each other. Since they know each other. At some point, we'll sit down and we'll read through all these. Maybe not right now.
Supplies! Get your supplies here!
Thick treatises on a variety of Animancy-related topics clutter the desk. The ledger contains a meticulously logged list of names, dates, and measurements. I've read that before. That's pretty handy. We also have to swap out that companion.
Right.
Merla, burned. Well, that won't do it all.
A note is scrawled into the margin between diagrams. Increased current. Lightning? The hum of the machine dips into a lower tone whenever someone stands within arm's reach. Must be to Flan Alette. From her unkempt hair to her agitated pacing, Flan Alette gives off an air of restrained chaos. She waves you over with a few quick motions.
You don't mind if I talk and work, do you? What can I do for you?
She turns away to scrawl a quick note. You work here.
Not the coziest place for it, is it? But the open air, the lightning specifically, is a boon. Lets our mages have a rest now and then. Good tests of the equipment too. We're working on making it less delicate. Our junior researchers are still a little soft.
She laughs. What are you working on here?
Glad you asked, amico. Very glad. We're very excited about the work here, and we are always looking for volunteers. We've catalogued a number of interesting properties unique to Luminous Adra, but there are some very specific qualities we are investigating. Qualities that a watcher happens to be uniquely suited to exploring. You're just what we're missing.
Is it dangerous?
No. Well, yes, what isn't, but not exceptionally dangerous. Luminous Adra has special effects upon Keith. Even to the humblest, it offers some small improvements. Rejuvenation, vitality, the kind of thing you sell to people back home, ne? But what about those who have already harnessed their own essence? Consider the talented cutpurse, for instance, who can cross a room by slipping briefly into another place. The world between. Luminous Adra holds enormous quantities of essence, the kind of energy we can't replicate or restore. And these formations have a kind of connection to each other across the in-between. I believe we can harness this connection and your natural abilities to transport a person across great distances in a moment.
Your theory is sound. I've used the Adra to track someone before.
Oh, good. You've done some experimenting on your own. A curious mind is a happy mind, I say. Can't mope about ghosts all day. We've collected a number of illuminating readings, and our machines are ready to harness the Adra's essence. But for the moment, we are effectively blind when it comes to targeting the next pillar. Now, if someone were capable of sensing that essence in the in-between, even of manipulating it, someone like a watcher, for instance.
You want to use my connection to the Adra? I could target a specific pillar.
Precisely right. We've had luck with shorter jumps, but those were as much spellcraft as science. The idea is for you to focus on the next connection point. The machine will use that new link between the Adra veins to create a tether, as well as provide the energy for you to jump effectively. What's really exciting is, so long as you are holding that connection open, your companions can jump alongside you.
Yeah, I was thinking about this. Like, they can send me somewhere by myself. Will I have to fight something?
Or they could hold things down here, make sure it's safe for you to come back.
The next pillar is due east of here, in the middle of a farm. It's not as tall as this one, but you shouldn't have any trouble finding it. Oh, and don't worry. We paid the farmers.
What if something goes wrong?
There was that fellow that jumped a little too far over the edge.
Stop scaring our assistant.
I have to take care of something first.
We'll get everything ready for you.
Let's speak to, Idwin first. A steady white-haired elf frowns down at a table, covered in coiled copper wires and glimmering shards of Adra. Her gloved hands smooth her well-tailored Valian coat as she mumbles under her breath. Apparently absorbed in her work, the Animancer doesn't acknowledge your presence. Excuse me. The woman spins on you, blinking rapidly behind a pair of brass-rimmed spectacles. Her bright carmine eyes and paper-white skin mark her as one of the Glenfellan.
Hello, my apologies. I didn't see you there.
Her Ardarian bears a clear, crisp, but difficult-to-place accent. The pale elf examines you warily, unease clear in the set of her shoulders. What do you do here?
She feels familiar, somehow. Wrong, almost like a Darghoul. But that can't be right, can it?
Weren't expecting to agree with the talking baton cap, but the lass does have a right uncanny air to her.
Seraphine's narrowed lime eyes probe the pale elf.
I, like the other scholars here, am engaged in the study of the soul sciences. Was there something you needed, or may I return to my studies?
Her thin lips settle into a crooked smile. As she speaks, A drop of blood rolls out the elf's nose and drips onto her lips. She pulls out a handkerchief from her coat pocket and wipes away the blood without a word. You burned yourself.
I had a mishap with my machinery, but all is well now. The details are unimportant. I wish only to return to my studies. In any case, why are you here?
How do you come to be in Nekataka?
It is a mundane story. I sought out the ship with the longest oversea route departing from the Republics and booked passage.
Though her words are flat and her voice effectless, Edwin is not calm. She shifts her weight from foot to foot, and looks anywhere but at your face. She has the restless, nervous air of a horse about to bolt.
I had intended to perform a handful of experiments regarding the nature of souls that could only be done safely at sea.
I know of no animancy that must be done strictly at sea.
A fellow researcher. Then perhaps you will understand.
She steeples her fingers and gives you a sly smile. Say nothing.
I've long been fascinated by the nature of entropy. Nothing is unaffected by the passage of time, excepting souls. Supposedly.
She smirks. I wonder if that's true, because don't the souls get weaker each time they go through the wheel? But if they don't go through the wheel and exist in a vacuum, maybe that's what she's talking about.
Is it not possible that repeated reincarnation damages a soul? Could the process of reincarnation itself be responsible for some of the many ills that plague the souls of Kith?
You know what? I might make a pretty good animancer.
I deduced that it was possible to escape the cycle, escape Bareth's grasp, to remove one's soul from the wheel.
I mean, I understand it, though. Alright, I'm afraid that went right over my head.
I suppose I was wrong to expect more from you.
Eh. She heaves a great sigh and straightens her cravat. Well, stop dancing around my questions. Tell me what's going on.
If you insist.
She takes a step back at your sudden request and clears her throat.
With the aid of a device of copper and Adra, I have uncoupled my soul from my body, freeing myself of Bareth's wheel. I belong only to myself now.
Pride girds her voice. What possessed you to do this to yourself?
My body and soul are my own. Why should I not do with them as I wish?
She squares her shoulders and fixes you with a glare.
Who are you to say?
Edwin's carmine eyes cling to you, mouth set in a small frown. I am something of an expert on the subject of souls.
How so?
She crosses her arms and regards you with new interest. I mean, saying that a past judgment is a little high and mighty of me, but it is true. We've done it several times. I'm a watcher. I see into the souls of others, and if necessary, pass judgment on what I find there.
Truly.
Her brows rise high on her forehead. She leans toward you, her eyes fixed on yours, suddenly intent.
Tell me, what do you see when you peer into the souls of Kith? Do you see their misdeeds? Their evil thoughts? Their unkindnesses, perversions, cruelties?
She blinks, frowns, and breaks eye contact.
I apologize. I have always felt a kinship with your kind. Having witnessed the very worst in Kith has left me keenly attuned to recognizing ill intent.
She quickly shakes her head.
Perhaps you would be amenable to me traveling with you, on something of a permanent basis?
She cringes. What can you do for me?
This blade is not merely for show.
Her fingers grace the basket hilt of the rapier slung at her side.
There are no end of swordsmen in the Deadfire, though, right? I, however, possess some little sway over the minds of others.
She grins wolfishly. Why do you want to travel with me?
I have a vested interest in Luminous Adra, but acquiring it here can be expensive. You have a ship of your own and are clearly well-traveled. I suspect I would encounter more Luminous Adra with you than I would on the streets of Nekataka.
Welcome aboard.
Truly?
She blinks, her mouth hanging half open.
Whoa, you sure about that?
Thaklaut, traveler. I am grateful.
She clasps your hand in hers, pumps it quickly, and releases. After a quick pat down of the various pockets sewn into her coat, Edwin nods sharply and rests a hand on the hilt of her rapier.
I have all that I need. We may depart at your leisure.
Her lips curl into a coiled little smile, as she says no more. Oh, interesting. Yeah, we'll keep her as a mind stalker. And we'll level her up later.
This Luminous Adra ought to be able to take my soul's watcher. What do you say?
Let's try it. A gleaming pillar of Luminous Adra towers above you as Jody stomps confidently toward its base, a grin ripping wide over her face.
Get ready to witness the feat of a lifetime, Watcher. I'm about to do God's good work, to single-handedly shepherd a multitude of souls straight into the depths of hell.
She rubs her hands together, drubs her palms against her hips, and snatches up her lantern, eager, ready. She wriggles her shoulders and pops her neck, stands subtly widening. Did I say suddenly? Subtly. Enough with the modesty. Let's get on with it.
You know me. If you got a light to shine, I don't see the purpose of hiding it under a bushel. All right, soul flock. Give my regards to the afterlife. And get born again soon.
As she exhales those last words, she presses one palm flat to the cold expanse of gem-like growth, fingers trembling. Like a firework going off, the light from her lantern flares blindingly bright. Electricity. No. Hypercharged soul energy whips across the air, lashing open Jody's skin. Traveling the pathway of 1,000 branching veins and capillaries, the strike bursts Jody bloody from face to neck to arms and lower, and she screams, her voice a secondary crack across the sky. They release the souls.
I swear to the gods, I'm trying!
The words rattle from between clenched teeth, ripped from her convulsing body, but she doesn't let go of the Adra that's searing her palm. Lantern trembles so violently it nearly cracks. Then a massive wave of purple essence rushes from the lantern. It swirls up and around the Adra, crashing along the glimmering surface before being sucked inside. The Adra pulses brighter, then darker, then even brighter, blinding. There's a howling, and the Adra cracks, and a jagged shard tumbles to the ground.
Ugh, son of a god's darn motherless cur! That hurt worse than a back-to-back whooping from Uncle Angbert's quarterstaff. Hell! And I only gotta do it again and again on cycle until the day I die?
You don't have to do anything you don't want to.
Ugh, but the guild says I do. I can't turn my back on my purpose any more than I could Aora in need. I never did want to take the easy route.
She nods.
I'll keep reaping more souls then. Do my duty till I fall to dirt and bones. Never you worry, though. I'll see to dumping my lantern in the future on my own. Thank you for finding me a way to handle my burden, even if it does involve the occasional jolt of pain.
Chest heaving, Jody scrabbles for the Adra shard embedded in the ground. The crystal slick with blood from her palm. She shoves it into her pocket. Then she shakes her head. Luminous Adra mantle. The small shard of Luminous Adra glows with soul energy. Though obviously shorn from a larger piece, it has the appearance of being tooled, as though for a specific purpose. Perhaps it could be used to improve upon Jody's lantern. Oh, neat.
Darn if I don't feel so light I could float away.
Jody casts an odd look to her darkened lantern, before turning to you with a whimsical smile. Missing a word there. Doing any better?
My bones are still a little jangly. But yeah, I think I am. I don't know if this is what Gon planned for me, but I'd like to think we did right by these souls. We're bringing light to the darkness, ensuring spring follows the coming fall.
She dusts her hands on her hips before setting off at a determined clip.
What can I do you for?
That's not the worst debuff.
Watcher, tell me what's on your mind. Not a one. Thanks to you, I'm sleeping like a babe. No, better even. I never knew nothingness could feel so warm and so nice.
Sounds like a heavy weight was lifted from your shoulders.
More like from my mind.
She nods.
No matter what comes to pass in the days and nights ahead, I won't forget who it was that brought me relief from the dreams. And the crush of the souls I'd acquired. You need me, I'll be 2 whoops and a holler away.
Oh, good. Sounds like she's doing better. Alright, we'll come back and do the quest for Flannelette later. What's the name of that quest anyway? So I didn't realize that these quests conflict with the Valiant Trading Company and the Royal Deadfire Company. I mean, I still think there's going to be a middle ground. This one's just investigating, and one is disrupting the collection of the Adra. So where is this quest at? Did she not give us a quest to teleport through the Adra? Well, either way, we'll come back to it. Let's finish up our business here in the Sacred Stair. And I think that's going to take us out of the city. So if we finish everything in the Sacred Stair now, when we travel back, we go straight to Pariki's Overlook.
How'd you come by that scar on your brow, Aloth?
This? I found myself in a rather perilous situation with a band of Darghouls.
Darghouls can be real nasty. You're lucky that's all you got to show for it.
I certainly gave them worse. Not to boast, of course.
I will start by going down here. And we'll explore the Hanging Sepulchre next time. This tree, its roots digging deep into the rock and bricks, hangs over the ledge of the precipice. Below, an open tomb clings to the sheer walls of the cliff. Here over the precipice. The precipice drops hundreds of feet into the lower districts of Neketaka. Strong winds assail the cliff, whistling as they crash against its rocks. 2 yards below, the ledge of an open tomb rests on them. Alright, rope and grappling hook. Secure a rope and grappling hook to the tree. You tie the grappling hook around the trunk of the tree. A couple of firm tugs convince you that it'll withstand your weight as you climb down. Your grappling hook, well secured around this tree, extends its rope all the way to the tomb that opens into the mouth underneath you. Assuming this is the same. Yeah. Alright, descend to the tomb's opening. You grab the rope, landing your feet on the edge of the precipice, and begin your descent. Gusts of wind sway you from side to side, forcing you to tightly grip the rope. It digs into your skin with every move. Despite the effort, your group proves their excellent conditioning. Everyone manages to reach the tomb's opening without exertion. You stand on the narrow ledge of the tomb's entrance, its passage leading into darkness. Your rope dangles from the tree above. Now look inside the passage. Light filters inside just enough to illuminate entombed skeletons resting in alcoves hollowed out from the rocky walls of the cavern. The stone slab floor appears to have been laid hundreds of years ago. Ahead, the passage disappears into darkness. Follow the passage into the tomb. You follow the passage. The winds rage outside, yet the air of the tomb doesn't stir, stale and heavy. Steps carved on the rock descend deep into the mountain. You walk down the steps, every stride echoing through the cavernous passage. Skeletal remains poke out of niches in the walls, lining up the way until the steps land into a narrow corridor. You stand before a hallway. Its columns frame dozens of tombs hollowed into the rock. Cubbyholes line the walls. Skeletal remains litter every alcove and spill into the stone slabs that tile the floor. Inspect the hallway. You carefully scan the corridor and focus on every detail. Skeletal remains, probably dislodged from their cubbyholes over centuries, litter the edges of the walls. Judging by an emblem etched onto the stones of the tombs, members of the same clan or group lie buried here. A faint sparkle catches your eye. Under a pile of bones collapsed inside an alcove, you discern something glittering. It seems to be within easy reach. You stand before a hallway. Oh, I've already read that. I retrieve the glittering object from the tomb. You reach inside the cubbyhole, digging into the pile of bones and stones. Your fingers touch something cold, its surface smooth as glass. You grab it, surprised at its weight, and pull it out to reveal a large ruby resting on the palm of your hand. Alright, cross the hallway and continue. You stand in a dark, narrow cavern. The path ahead twists in its descent. Continue down the twisting cavern. You continue onward, following the turns on the path with careful but sure stride. As you round a bend, a drift of cold air announces the end of the narrow passage. Its exit appears ahead, flanked by half-interred bodies. You step out into an enormous cavern, its walls and sharp cliffs riddled with tombs leading into places unknown. I'm assuming this is an alternate entrance... Excuse me. An alternate entrance to the Hanging Sepulchres. Yeah, okay. Works for me. Alright, I'm going to call it here. Next episode, we will make our way to the Hanging Sepulchres and knock out Eulogy for the Dead. But for now, thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys in the next one.